All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tonight, we're going to be talking about the Las Vegas Raiders in Antonio Pierce's debut. They defeat and actually blow out the New York Giants 30-6. They put up the most points they have this season. They looked the best they have in the last year and a half. Antonio Pierce has this team right, and this is something we were talking about all week prior to this game. Josh Jacobs said after the game, the vibe and energy is just electric. It's a night and day difference. I mean, it's just a night and day difference. We can see clearly now that Josh McDaniels was the problem. And I have to commend Mark Davis for actually firing Josh McDaniels and making that move, because the writing looked like it was on the wall. We're hearing all these weird reports. You have guys just not interested. They looked like they just were not interested. And it's just clear as day. Josh McDaniels, these guys just straight up did not like the dude. Antonio Pierce comes on in here and he sets the tone immediately. I mean, he's a former player. These guys, he has their back. Antonio Pierce has every player's back on the Las Vegas Raiders. And when you have people who believe in you and know that you are capable of great things, it makes a huge ass difference. And we saw it yesterday. The 4-5 Las Vegas Raiders winning 30-6. They put up 24 points in the first half, which is, I mean, that's the most amount of points they had in a single game prior to yesterday. I mean, it is crazy. And I hate hearing, oh, it was the New York Giants. It was the New York Giants. Anybody can beat the New York Giants. Daniel Jones even got hurt. Here's the thing. If Josh McDaniels and Jimmy G were at the helm in yesterday afternoon's game, if the Raiders were going to win that game, they would have won it like 17-16, which just would have been a huge headache. Yesterday certainly was not a headache. But before we get any further into tonight's video, if you guys enjoy, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button for daily NFL content. Raiders fans, if we could try and get this video to 250 likes, that would mean the absolute world to me. So Aidan O'Connell. You know, Brian Hoyer, this is something I've also ranted so many times about. I never understood when Jimmy G was hurt why Brian Hoyer played. I mean, it just never made any sense to me, especially considering Aiden against the Los Angeles Chargers when he got his first game looked fine. The dude lit it up in preseason. He looked competent, and he looked like he could get the job done. Yesterday, 16-25, 209 yards. But the thing is, he was doing what he needed to do. He was accurate. He was consistent. He looked in control. He looked poised for a dude who's played like 2 NFL games in his career. But finally, Josh Jacobs and the running game gets going. The Raiders yesterday rushed for 125 yards. Keep in mind, the New York Giants defense, especially their defensive line, I mean, these are NFL players. I know the Giants aren't the best team in the league. They're 2-7. I know it's not the best defense in the league, but still, man, they play teams hard, especially running the ball wise. Josh Jacobs, 98 yards and 2 touchdowns. And then we heard that, you know, you guys have seen the videos, but we heard from Josh Jacobs that the energy is just electric. I mean, this is a game changer for the Las Vegas Raiders. Here's the thing, and this is something we've talked about. We talked about it in our video yesterday. They're 4-5. I mean, it is crazy that this team, all the dysfunctionality that has happened through the first 6-7 games of the regular season, it was crazy that they were even 3-5. And now they're 4-5, and I'm not saying playoffs or draft pick. I don't even care about the playoffs. I don't even care about the draft picks. You know, the wins make it worse, whatever. I just want my guy. I just want a culture that the Las Vegas Raiders are back. And that's what we saw yesterday. So, you know, obviously there's like that whole kind of thing, you know, about players just playing harder in general when a coach gets fired in any sport. Tough matchup this upcoming weekend against the New York Jets. Another very winnable game. But let's talk about some more things that I really liked about Aidan O'Connell. New era, the firing of Josh McDaniels, the new regime of Antonio Pierce coming on in here. Trey Tucker, 50-yard long ball catch. Trey Tucker was a guy selected out of Cincinnati that has insane speed. I mean, Trey Tucker has insane speed. This is a 22-year-old rookie from Cincinnati, and we just hadn't really seen much of him. I know he only had 2 catches. You know, outside of that, he had 1 catch for 2 yards. But that 50-yard play, that's something, the deep play threat. I have Trey Tucker. I have Jacoby Myers, Devontae Adams, and Hunter Renfrow, and I've got some boys at the tight end position. The Raiders just lacked big plays. I mean, that's just something that they have not had the entire season. They had 1 game over 20 points. That was against the New England Patriots, where they put up like 21. The big playability was something that was just not there. It just was not there with Jimmy Garoppolo. So Trey Tucker with that 50-yard catch, I absolutely love it. Now, receiving-wise, it wasn't too crazy because You're up 24 to 0 at halftime. You're literally up 24 to 0 at halftime. So you're just coasting the rest of the game. Jakobi Meyers, 2 catches, 38 yards. Davante Adams, quiet game again, 4 catches, 34 yards. Hunter Renfrow, finally seeing a little bit more of him, 2 catches for 32 yards. My favorite part about yesterday with Aiden O'Connell at the helm was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different receivers caught a ball yesterday. That's something that I just absolutely love to see. It felt like the Raiders, especially in the first couple of weeks of the regular season, there was no run game. Josh Jacobs, the scheme, whatever it just was not working. There was no run game. Hunter Renfrow was not being involved. The tight ends were not being involved, even though they're out there on the field. It was simply just the Davante Adams, but mainly the Jimmy G and Jakobi Meyers show. Like, that's pretty much what it was. It was really, if the ball was being thrown, it was either to Davante Adams or Jakobi Meyers. So to see that many wide receivers or, tight ends, running backs, etc., to see that many different players catch a ball yesterday, I'm very excited. Is Aiden O'Connell the quarterback of the future for the Las Vegas Raiders? Well, that's something we can decide in the next 7 or 8 games that the Raiders have left on the regular season. But at the end of the day, man, this team, the roster, there's so much talent. I mean, you have the league leading rusher last season in Josh Jacobs. You have one of the best wide receivers in the league in Davante Adams. You have one of the more underrated wide receivers in the league in Jakobi Meyers. You have enticing young draft picks, guys like Trey Tucker. I know the whole Tyree Wilson thing is just a huge headache, huge hiccup. Not ideal, but the good news is the Las Vegas Raiders yesterday, they had 8 total sacks. They had a forced fumble. They had 2 interceptions, but they had 8 freaking sacks. I've got Max Crosby. I've got one of the best defensive ends in the entire National Football League. He had 3 sacks yesterday. Everybody was getting in on the action. This is just a united team. And like I said, this is something that we just have not felt in the Josh McDaniels era. However, what was it, 25 games, 24 games, whatever it was. I never really felt like this team was unified. But obviously, you want to trust the process. You want to just kind of trust that Dave Ziegler and Josh McDaniels know what they're doing and that they have a plan, whatever it is. They made some good decisions. I think getting rid of Derek Carr was a good decision. Maybe that's not the best thing to say because of Davante Adams, but I was wrong. I was simply wrong about Josh McDaniels and that Las Vegas Raiders, aka New England Patriots regime. It's such a breath of fresh air. And either way, no matter how this season goes, the Raiders could lose out from here. It really doesn't matter. The energy, the aura, the vibe of this football team, it's so much completely different than it was in the last year and a half. And I absolutely love it. And I'm going to enjoy it for the rest of the season. So we're back, baby. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to hit that like button, hit that sub button. Most importantly, give me your thoughts on the new look Las Vegas Raiders down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great rest of your day, and we will see you next time.